Why is everyone jumping in Geometry Dash? I don't know. I just jumped from 9 circles to Bloodbath and I'm struggling on it. Do I regret it? No. Will I regret it? Probably soon. Let's find out.
A trend that literally everyone seems to be doing in Geometry Dash lately is jumping. Not jumping over spikes, but the task of trying to complete.
Also, I recommend, I don't know what Nimpop's opinion on this is going to be. I recommend that if you want to try jumping, you should. Because the thing about jumping is if you try to jump and you find that you don't like it, you can always cancel the jump. You can always give up and do something else. I don't understand why in the Geometry Dash community, people are like, no, don't do it. You're ruining your experience in the game. It's like, dude, just make a different decision if you find that this decision doesn't suit you.
Complete a level that is significantly harder than your current hardest level. And some of the jumps we're seeing are getting absolutely insane. But how did we get to this point where so many people are doing these massive jumps? That's what we're gonna figure out in this video by going over the different motivations behind jumping.
Can I be honest? I know exactly why people are jumping. It's why I'm jumping. People like watching more popular, difficult levels than they like watching anything else. I'm talking about this from the content creator streamer perspective. I was streaming Lonely Travel and that put my audience to sleep. I load up Bloodbath, suddenly everybody want to be in the stream. It's really that simple. I think from a player perspective, jumping is confusing. From a content creator perspective, it's immediately a compelling narrative. And two, you just get to play like a more exciting level for the views. And additionally, like, for better or worse, I've had people in every single one of my Bloodbath chats talking like, why are you doing this jump? This is insane. You shouldn't be doing this. Bro, you're never going to beat Bloodbath. And yes, they're annoying, but also it's like, they're in my chat and we're talking about it. We're talking about the thing I'm doing versus if I wasn't jumping, we probably wouldn't be talking about the crazy thing I'm doing. So sorry, I don't know if I just devalued this Nimpop video. Let's hear what he thinks.
Which make it so popular nowadays. And finally answering the question of—
And I can say even from like a super plugged in content creator, I would assume that as a player, the reason why a player would want to jump is because that also could potentially give them attention. Whether they want attention on their videos or they want attention to them as a player, it's the same thing, attention. I don't think that like wanting attention or recognition is a bad thing.
Whether jumping is a good way to improve your skill or not. If you enjoy this video, be sure to subscribe and consider joining the channel members. So where did this all start? For years, we've seen some of GD's most legendary players pull off insane level jumps. The most known example is of course the best player Zoink, who jumped from Bloodbath to Zodiac in October 20.
I'm gonna do that after we beat I almost said Bloody Bath. I'm gonna Zoink jump to Zodiac after we beat Bloodbath, chat, in case you didn't know.
Completing the level in
Get angry about it.
Around 40k attempts. Or the legendary player UFWM, who jumped from the Insane Demon Acropolis to Cold Sweat in June of 2021, beating it in 33k attempts. And over the years, jumping levels has become more and more popular. It feels like every week there's a new player that accomplished an insane jump or is making progress on one. We just had King Moose, who beat Bloodbath as his
shout out King Moose, W.
literal first level ever in Geometry Dash. Herx, who's been working on the largest jump ever from Toe 2 to Tidaway for over 2 years, and me, who just jumped from Bloodbath to Renovant. But why are people doing jumps in the first place? Well, I think there's 3 main motivations behind people doing jumps in GD. So let's go through each one and figure out whether it's a good reason to jump or—
It's so funny because I remember so much hate going to Zoink for that jump. Wait, really? That's something I've been curious about, because part of like me getting pissed at people for being so hypercritical of me jumping to Bloodbath, I'm just like, were y'all this mean to Zoink when he did it? Like, is it true that jumps don't get any respect until you actually beat the jump? That actually makes me feel better if Zoink also got hate for jumping. Like, it's like, dude, why do people just not want to believe in others? It's crazy. Just believe in others. Like, it's okay if you don't want to do something. It's also, you also can extend the same amount of grace of like, hey, you're jumping to a much harder level than your current skill level in this game. It's personally something I wouldn't want to do, but honestly, it's impressive that you would be willing to take on something like this. I wish you the best of luck. How hard is that for people to contextualize in their brains?
Or not. The first reason I think most people are doing jumps nowadays is for recognition. Seeing someone attempt an
Dude, I swear I didn't pre-watch this video. I just have a brain between my ears.
insane jump is gonna get people talking and intrigued about your progress more than a player who progressed slowly to whatever level you're playing. Especially with the rise of shorts channels like me who highlight the different achievements by GD players, many people might be tempted to do a jump to gain popularity. I honestly don't think this is a terrible reason, as there's nothing wrong with wanting as many people as
Bro, it's not a terrible reason. We gotta demystify this, chat. For years, people have like talked negatively about clout chasers or people just doing stuff for views. This is like, there's nothing ethically bad about playing a level that people want to watch. I'm tired of people being like, talking about content creators and being like, you're not in it for the passion of making a high quality video that people want to watch. You're just in it for the views. Yes, dude. The more views you get as a content creator, the more likely you can make money off of content creation. The more likely you can pay bills off of making videos. That's what everybody wants to do. Let's stop talking like people are just like, there are clout chasers than people who are in it for the passion of it. Like, let's be honest about this. Most people want to turn this into a job that pays their bills. The way you pay your bills is more viewers. It's not rocket science.
Possible.
Let's stop vilifying people who are trying to get more views.
To see your achievement, but I think the amount
Everybody who sparks up on Twitch wishes that they had more viewers than they currently do. This is just absolutely true.
of recognition you'd expect to get from a jump is way less than you think it is. Even in the best case scenario where you complete your jump and get 100,000 views and videos made about you, that attention will quickly go away as people move on to the next big thing in the community. At best, you might be able to capitalize on the attention you get from a jump by following up with more content, but even then, you'll find doing a jump solely for recognition will likely be very underwhelming and one of the least efficient ways to gain notoriety.
Yeah, it's also a bad idea because as we're already finding with my Bloodbath streams, it's like people are most excited about the fact that you're jumping. But this is true of every Geometry Dash level. I've found this through streaming Geometry Dash. People are most excited when you're first playing a level or when you're just about to beat the level. So I think part of your goal being a GD content creator, if you're a player, you need to find levels you can play that lessen this middle part because viewers hate the journey. They just do. Most viewers, they prefer the novelty factor of you playing a level for the first time or, oh crap, this guy's about to beat the level. This is empirically true. Look at the data. Every person's stream reflects this.
In the GD community. So to me,
so yes, if you're jumping, you might get a lot of initial recognition for like, whoa, this guy's trying this jump. But like, if you're stuck on a level for a whole year, most viewers probably are going to get bored and tune in at the very end for the sauce.
This is a 3 out of 10 reason. Don't make this your only motivation for a jump. But the second reason people jump, I think is a good one, which is having a strong passion for the level you want.
Yes, and this was what I was just about to say about my jump to Bloodbath. Bloodbath is a level since my first day playing and streaming Geometry Dash. It's been the big boogeyman, the big boss man. I'm partially doing it because I recognize the recognition I could potentially get from doing a crazy jump, but two, passion. And this is what I'll always recommend for everybody. If you're passionate about a level, regardless of skill level, play it. Check it out, play it. If you don't like it, or like if you don't like the level or you don't like the grind, you can find out later reasons why you should drop a level. But why not try a jump, see how you feel about it, and then make an informed decision rather than just like out the gate being like, I shouldn't do that. It's way out of my skill range.
Jump to. Whether it's because you dreamed of beating it as a kid or you really like the decoration, song, and gameplay, having a passion for a level is a valid reason to want to jump to it.
Exactly.
This also applied to my jump, as the dedication series, which Renovant is a part of, is my absolute favorite in the entire game, and it was one of my dream levels to beat since it was released. However, even if you really love a certain level, I would still
sorry, I accidentally hit the mouse sensitivity on my mouse.
make sure you're not completely out of the skill range for it. For example, my dream hardest is Anathema, which is still a long ways away from me at the moment. If I jump to it now, I'm still gonna have an insanely difficult experience, which is not gonna change just because I like the level so much. I think picking a level you love is kind of a cherry on top, and is gonna make you much more likely to want to commit the effort necessary to complete the jump. So I'd say this is about a 6 out of 10 reason.
Well, yeah, even with passion too, though, like we're missing the subjectivity. I've talked about this before on stream. Like some people, and this is going to blow some people's minds in chat. Some people like it when the game is hard to beat. They like playing the game and failing 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 times. They actually enjoy that. A lot of players don't like that. A lot of folks have that more casual experience part of their brain where it's like, okay, I want to struggle a little bit with the game, but I want the game to reward my dopaminergic systems in my brain relatively quickly. If I struggle for too long, the game is no longer fun for me. So again, let me re-blow your minds again, put them back together for 1 second. Some people, their brains work, they're okay with failing more than you are. And they can fail more than you do. And that gives them satisfaction in the game they're playing. So again, I've said this before on stream, that's why jumping or not to jump, it's so subjective. And I'm not going to argue the merits of jumping. I'm not going to argue that if you're too afraid to jump, it means you're soft. But I want you to understand that, like, the people who jump aren't necessarily misinformed or stupid. They just, like, they want to be way, 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 way more challenged than their current skill level. Like, they want the game to hurt them harder. It's a little masochistic. It's speedrunner brain.
Reason to do a jump. Now we get to the last and most controversial reason you'll see people wanting to jump, which is to improve their skill. This topic is a very polarizing one, with some people saying jumping
Nimpop and I have the same brain, King.
One of the best ways to improve your skill in GD, while others say it's one of the worst ways to improve skill. So what's the truth? In general, hard
people say it's a bad method, but I've said this before on stream. It's not. If you view that you only improve at Geometry Dash by beating a level, of course you would think there's not a way to improve at your skill. But if you're playing a level that's above your skill range and you're able to get consistent on hard tech over the course of many attempts, you are improving at skill mechanics in the game. You're not improving at it with the binary of like, oh, I've been able to beat this level as fast as I could beat this other level, but you are improving at the game's skill mechanics.
Hardware upgrades and mindset aside, improvement in GD is all about training your muscle memory over and over again and learning timings through visual cues in a level. A good example of a muscle memory dependent...
You see that? It's about training consistency. It's about reps. It's not about how many levels have I beaten. How many levels have I beaten? Oh, if I maximize how many levels I can beat because I play only levels that never test the limits of my skill, that's how I get better at the game.
Part would be River's Wave and Slaughterhouse.
That's an option, don't get me wrong. I am just arguing the merit of, like, if you are able to put up with how frustrating a skill jump between levels can be, you can still improve. I'm not saying that necessarily is like one way is more improving than the other way. My alarm just went off. Can you remind me to start stream in 10 minutes? Also, sorry, I'm yapping a lot during this video, but clearly I have a lot of thoughts about it. I hope y'all appreciate the yaps. I'm not arguing the merit of either one. I'm just saying that in a reality where people like to completely devalue, they think that jumping is a waste of time, I am here to say it is not. It is an alternative to get you engaged in the game and still progress skills-wise. I think there is merit to both options. It is a matter of which path you as a player want to choose.
Which gets consistent through repetition as your brain registers the muscle memory of the click pattern and isn't so dependent on your eyes focusing on the icon's positioning. While the pre-drop of Slaughterhouse would be a good example of a visually dependent part, where you have to focus on the icon's positioning relative to the spike.
Where did you get that info? My brain, that's how my brain parses stuff. I'm literally just like, hey, if you want to do something, you should do it. If you don't want to do something, you shouldn't do it. If people on the internet possess this one simple trick in their brains, they would stop getting mad at every single thing they see online.
To properly time each jump. The only thing that really matters for improving skill is that you're pushing yourself through harder and harder levels over time to improve your brain's ability to retain the muscle memory and time inputs. And this can absolutely be done through jumping, but will only be optimal for certain players. The truth is, what may be a bad jump for one player will actually be perfectly optimal progression for another. A great example of this is the Osu player Emrek, who recently...
Bro, I'm just retweeting this whole Nimpop video, dude. We should
just beat Slaughterhouse. He absolutely blazed through his early extremes like Aku, Bloodbath, and even the List Demon Unknown, which he beat in 3 days. This shows us that his skill was already beyond those levels. If he just continuously played incrementally harder levels,
if you never limit test yourself, chat, how do you truly know where you're at? I hard agree.
Because the average player does, his skill wouldn't have improved nearly as fast as it did. So in his case,
like, what if you jump to a new level and it's easy for you? That would be crazy. You could be even better at the game.
It's optimal to do these jumps from Sonic Wave to Unknown then to Slaughterhouse to improve his skill and push himself the right amount. But on the other hand, a player whose hardest is also something like Aku or Bloodbath should look at Emrek's progression as a universal example to follow. Jumping too far out of your skill range, while it will train your brain and make you better at Geometry Dash, the process only being through one single level for an overly long period of time will likely cause
You have to diversify what you play. That's where jumping faults. I mean, I understand that argument, and I see like the other chat message about skill imbalance. Sure. I don't think that's sufficient enough reason to not jump,
mental,
in my opinion,
consequence.
But I see the argument.
Tiny bits of progress may not feel as rewarding as beating multiple levels. And
like, I think there's immeasurable, like, even if you're working on high-level gameplay for a specific game mode, I know it's not directly transferable to other high-level gameplay of another game mode, but I think your base, like, your soft skills for being a higher level Geometry Dash player are improving across the board. irregardless. Not at the same rate of if you diversified your portfolio of levels that you're working on in terms of progression, sure, that's fair. I still don't think that's a fully compelling reason to like, you shouldn't jump.
Redundancy of playing the same thing over
But I understand the argument.
and over again for too long is likely to make you very demotivated, making your skill improve a lot slower. And on top of that, if you don't play a variety of different types of gameplay consistently,
If you're demotivated, do something else. Straight up. This is like, we all have the power of being our own person. You are allowed to decide when something is no longer fun for you and you want to try something else. I feel like a lot of people have trouble with this. They're like, oh man, I'm really demotivated and I don't want to play this level anymore. Stop playing it. Play something else. Do something else in the game that you find fun. Follow the fun. This is a phrase that I live my life by. Follow the fun. If you follow the fun, you'll be fine. If you watch a bunch of YouTube videos to find someone to tell you what level you should play, you're probably not following your fun. You're waiting for someone to tell you what to do.
your skill improvements will only be very specialized. Imagine someone who jumps from deadlock to no-scapes and only plays that level till they beat it. Sure, they'll be insane at robot and will gain some muscle memory and timing skill boosts, but all their skill in other game modes will be much more lacking compared to someone who rounded out their skill by playing a variety
This is what we were just talking about in
of
chat.
different gameplay. Basically, everyone's optimal progression path is going to look different. For some, it may include
I
these
agree.
big jumps going from medium demons to easy extremes to list demons, while others it will be more incremental, smaller jumps, and everything in between. But how do you know which group you fall into? To figure this
How do you know which group you... Again, like, literally, I wish I could teach everybody online introspect. Sit with... Like, put your phone down, unplug your computer, sit in your living room for an hour, and just think. And just feel and be with your thoughts and be like, huh, what do I want to do next in Geometry Dash? Even better, get out a piece of paper. Write down your goals. Write down how you're thinking and what you want out of, like, life. I think people would surprise themselves on how easy they're able to answer these questions for themselves. But it doesn't come from watching a YouTube video. It comes from you being like, huh, okay, I've removed all this external stimuli. What do I want? I know what all these talking heads online are telling me. What do I want? Genuinely. I know some of you are going to call me insane, but that's genuine. That all of the problems in your life, you need to introspect and journal, and you can find the answers yourself. But it's not going to come from a tutorial online.
this out, I want you to take your current hardest level and see how many attempts you took to beat it. You're then going to look up on YouTube videos of players beating that level as their new hardest as well. Ideally, players with similar previous level progression as you. Then compare your attempt count with a few of them. If yours is consistently a good amount lower than theirs, that means your skill is likely above your current hardest level, meaning jumping levels would likely be a good choice for you. If it's
I guess that's an option, sure. I don't really value attempt count, but like, yeah, if you need to find some kind of data before, I'm just such a right brain person when it comes to playing games. It's just like, bro, if you feel like doing something, do it. If you need some kind of empirical data in order to inform your decisions, that's also fine. But like, just, it's a game, bro. Do what you think is going to be fun.
around the same amount, a jump might be a bit harder and less optimal. And if it's a higher amount than theirs, a jump will be much harder and way less optimal. But before you get excited and jump to thinking space 2 because you beat 9 circles,
Yeah, Ember, I don't think attempts are useless. I do think that some people in the game can use them as a means to an end to determine their skill level. But for me, I don't track attempts. I've said this before on stream. I just don't care about them.
Twice as fast as
I really don't. I think they're best case scenario, it's a good tracker of how long you've spent on a level. Worst case scenario, it's a dick measuring contest between players.
your friends, we need to answer another
And more often it's column B more than it's column A.
super important question. How far should you jump? Even if you beat your current hardest in less attempts than most people, jumping too far could easily land you in just as bad of an experience as someone who beat your hardest in twice your attempts but did a moderate jump. This question is a lot harder to answer as the amount of time and attempts you should take to beat a level you want to jump to isn't going to be a universal answer. A
Right.
player jumping from 9 circles to AQ and Emrek jumping from unknown to slaughterhouse shouldn't expect to take the same amount of time and attempts to make the jump, despite
Right, but that goes back to what we've talked about. Like, comparison is the thief of joy. Stop comparing yourself to other players. Stop looking at other players' attempt counts on levels that you want to play and being like, well, they took less attempts, so maybe I shouldn't even play this level. Do what you want to do. We're all so in our phones and so in our screens that we're constantly trying to find data points to inform the decisions we make. Sit with yourself. Think about what you want to do, uninformed. Don't ask ChatGPT or Gemini. What do you want to do? And if that's a hard question for you to answer without being plugged in, you got some work to do. But you need to do that work.
Both
It's
of the
crazy.
jumps being optimal progression for them. To figure out whether you're jumping too far or not, take a look again at other players beating the level you're jumping to.
Like, I feel insane. I mean, I feel insane every day when I stream because I feel like I'm Unk and I just know from life experience the positive habits in my life that help me feel better. I can promise you, limiting or like not limiting my screen time is one of the quickest recipes for misery in life for me. And I would extend that so far as probably for you as well. If you are currently just like binging videos every single day of your life and not living your own life unplugged, you're probably going through it, bro. Even if you're not able to recognize that, like you're going through something. I'm not trying to tell you what, but you need to figure your stuff out.
As their new hardest, but not as a major jump. And look at their progression if they shared it. Let's say it took them a week and 5k attempts to get the level in 4 runs. If you play the level and get similar runs in the same amount of time and attempts as these people, then the level you're jumping to is probably at the perfect spot for optimal progression. If you notice it's taking you a lot longer to get certain runs in the same time and attempts as them, then the level you're jumping to might—
Like, do we understand how people get stuck in this kind of like decision fatigue or like, no, analysis paralysis? You're watching these YouTube videos and they all have like different conflicting information of like, you should jump, you shouldn't jump. Well, if you jump this way, it's okay. Well, if you don't jump this way, then you can't. Well, also you need to do this. Well, also consider this. Also the Blitzkrieg method. Do we understand how all of us can get all of our knots tied cognitively and freak out when all we need to do is step outside and like just let the breeze hit our face and be like, oh, none of this actually matters. Oh, I was just hearing a bunch of people's opinions, but these people's opinions were shown to me in a very compelling and very like visually stimulating way. Oh, but that's just their opinion. Oh, I can really just do what I want. And it might not be the most optimal thing, but I'll still be okay.
Might be too far, and if your progression is way faster than them, then the jump may be too small. So all this means that the motivation of jumping to improve your skill may be the perfect or
You can take in that information in a healthy way, certainly. You can have a healthy relationship with anything in life. I would only argue that, I mean, yeah, YouTube videos just get like hundreds of thousands, millions of views. I think the more likely scenario is that people are not taking it in a healthy way. Some people might be. I think most people are binging these videos. They are binging these videos trying to regulate their nervous system. It's why there's a whole freaking, a whole audience for content creation to begin with, because you have binge viewers.
worst reason to do a level jump, depending on how easily you—
Now we're so off topic from the video at hand, but I'm a pretty anti-internet, anti-content, anti-social media person. I understand the irony of that being a streamer, but part of what I want to do as I continue to build my platform is to be old man yelling at cloud and tell people, hey, you should go outside more. You should meditate outside and be present in your life and be mindful and connect with people in your real life, because that is limitlessly more important to your happiness and self-actualization in this life than playing 12 to 16 hours of a video game every single day of your life. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. You get it?
And how fast you can progress on the level you're trying to jump to. It's your job to compare with others and figure out whether this is a good motivation for you.
I would say don't compare with others. I think that this is a well-meaning message. Don't compare to others. Don't compare to others. Don't get caught in that treadmill, bro. I've done it before. I've done it for most of my life. Don't compare yourself to others, bro. That is such a slippery slope.
So it gets a depends out of 10. So that's my take on the different motivations behind the jumping phenomenon in Geometry Dash. Remember that you do have the free will to play this game how you want. Not every jump has to be—
Anti-content content creator is insane. Yeah, but I'm taking it out from the inside, right? I'm kind of like a wolf in sheep's clothing. How else would I be able to talk to y'all right now? The people who consume content are now being radicalized on why content is a monster. Ha ha ha! I'm getting you!
perfectly optimal progression. Even my jump from Bloodbath to Renovant wasn't completely optimal either.
I hope the internet explodes within the next 5 years and we all have to go live in a pre-internet society.
I took around 7k new attempts for Bloodbath and 48k attempts for Renovant, which is around double the attempts as others who beat it as a new hardest, but not as a jump. But I love the level so much that I was willing to endure the extra effort to complete the jump and didn't care about improving my skill at the perfect speed. But everyone's motivations are going to be different. This video just aims to figure out whether your jump and the motivations behind it are right for you. Share the biggest level jump you've done in the comments.
Right, exactly. Wait, he just succinctly said it's to determine whether it's right for you. The only way to determine whether a decision is right for you is you. Nobody can help you inform that opinion. I've talked about this many times on stream. I've talked about it many times in this video. But again, I will conclude. Let's finish this up.
Below and let me know what you agree or disagree with in this video and if there's anything I missed.
I know it's hard in this day and age, folks. I know it's hard. I know that like you hear advice like, listen to your heart. Follow your gut. What does your gut want? And people hear that and they're just like, that sounds ridiculous. I don't even know what that means. Yes, you do. You know, your intuition tells you what you want to do every single day. It literally tells you. It's like, oh man, this is what I know I probably want and should do. And then there's like all the stuff that society in your day-to-day life and all that stuff, the stuff that gets in the way that talks you out of it. But that thing that jumps to the front of your mind that you're just like, oh, I want to do this. And then, but then you have like the whole thought spiral of like, no, but what about this? 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 Don't listen to the what about thises. You already know what you want to do. It's the thing that jumps to your, when I say, what do you want to do in Geometry Dash? The first thought you have that jumps to the top, that is what you want to do. It's not the laundry list that comes after of thoughts. It's not the thoughts in your head. You are not the thoughts in your head. You're not the emotions that you experience. You have to follow your intuition. It's hard. It's hard to develop a sense of self and intuition in today's modern world. But I have to scream at you all at least once per day that I know you can do it. I know you can do it. Just don't listen to anybody else. Listen to that voice in your head the first time it tells you of like, oh, you know, I think I want to try out Bloodbath. And then if you try it out and you don't like it, listen to what the voice says next. Oh, you know, I think I want to try this. But don't listen to other people. Or like, it's okay to listen to some people sometimes, sure. But don't get stuck in that loop of always looking to someone else to tell you what your next decision should be. Anyway, sorry. This was literally a 8 to 9 minute video, and I just yapped about a lot of stuff, but I think it's important stuff. I wanted to share that with all of you. I'm sorry if what I said pissed some of you off. I'm hoping that those words landed with some people who needed to hear it right now, but yeah. W React. I'll see you in the next one. Be sure to subscribe to Nimpop and like the video. I'm just trying to help y'all out. Did you like that? Don't even pretend like you didn't. You made it that far in the video. Well, did you know that I stream Monday through Friday on Twitch and YouTube, and you could catch me live and get to be a part of the experience when it happens? Also, if you don't care about that, or otherwise you want to see more of the video that you just watched, link in the description to watch the full VOD. Do that, please. I have a black eye because I play basketball sometimes. Bye. Oh,